Hey everybody, welcome back to the Coffee Break. I'm glad you decided to tune in because today is going to be all about story time. I'm going to get to that in just a minute. But before I get there, I just want to share with y'all that after doing these vlogs for the last month, I'm starting to get my sea legs. And I'm very aware that I'm still trying to figure it out. So I know I've been recording all over the place, in the car or outside, on the balcony, all over the house and the hallways. So I don't really have it honed in yet on where I want to go and how I want to present the vlog in the long term. But I'm working on it, and there's only so much I can do right now because I have a construction crew at my house. So I'm limited to where I can record. So I am doing my coffee breaks and taking my time out wherever I can do it. And I'm just glad that you're tuning in and joining in with me on that conversation. Putting that aside, I'm still going to keep on doing it until I figure it all out. So bear with me, okay? Going to do it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as long as I can. And just ask that you hit subscribe and that notification button to continue the conversation and share with me. Share the video with your friends and give me a thumbs up if you like the video. And now it's time for story time. I want to start off by saying I did go out this afternoon. I waited till late in the day, and this is a Sunday when I'm actually recording this. And I did go out and get me a coffee. And as I pull into the coffee shop and park in a little shaded area, I have to laugh because you don't see this every day, but there was a woman hiding behind the bushes just to the passenger side of my car, behind a transformer, which is right along a busy street. And she's sitting down behind the transformer in the bushes, and I look at her and I notice she's got nothing up top covering her up. She's naked. And it looked like she was naked from head to toe. She did have some wraparounds that were just sort of loosely flung around her a little bit, but for all intents and purposes, she looked naked. I'm like, I don't need a coffee after that. I'm already awake. That kind of stuff only happens in big cities, I guess. It's not something you see every day, but you can look forward to seeing it. And that just continues on with the rest of my story time, because a week ago, I went out for a walk. I decided to take a late afternoon walk because I'd already done a couple of 3 days of exercising, a couple of days outside and 1 day inside. And I wanted to do something to clear my head and get some fresh air and sunshine, so I decided to go for a walk. So I went walking down the normal pathway around my neighborhood that I would normally run if I went outside to run. And some of the things I noticed that there was a lot of litter pollution, a lot of noise pollution, and air pollution, and I'm like, this ain't gonna clear my head. And then I just kept walking, and I'm like, I've been thinking about what else I want to do in life, as far as, if I want to stay in a city environment or not, because of that fact that there's just so much nonsense all over the place, and it's not always clean. So anyway, I just kept walking. And then I get a certain distance away and I see a homeless man sleeping on the sidewalk. So I thought, okay, I need to take a different route. I'm going to cut across the parking lot and passing by and not bother him, or vice versa. And then I continue on up the other side of the sidewalk, and I notice there's another man sleeping on the sidewalk. It appears that he's sleeping up closer to the main road. And there's a lot of people walking past up there on the main road. And as I get closer, I noticed that the man was just doing something, but I wasn't sure what he was doing, you know what I'm saying? But as I get a little closer, I notice what he's doing, and he is just having a field day pleasuring himself right there on the sidewalk with his hand down his pants. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I saw a naked lady today, and then I see a man pleasuring himself right there in public. All of it in public. Oh my goodness. And I thought, well, maybe he's just scratching or something. But no, he was just going to town on and on and on he was doing this. And I'd seen this kind of thing before in a more dramatic way in New York City, when I lived in New York City, and I was going to a subway station at noon around lunchtime, and I was going down the subway station entrance, and there was a very large African-American man in there, and he was going to town on himself, but he was fully exposed, and there was no way you were going to ignore that in broad daylight. So yeah, I've seen a thing or two. But that's just the first half of my story time. I thought, okay, this is happening. There's nothing I can do about it. I did tell the people at the coffee house about the woman and, what she was doing. So they were going to check on her and see if she was all right. Maybe she needed some help. I don't know. So back to my walk. I continued my walk, and I ended up coming back around a different way than I normally do. And I saw that there was a runner coming toward me on the sidewalk. So I thought, okay, I'm going to get off the sidewalk and out of his way so he can pass me by, because, I'm trying to social distance. And as I did that, I just stood off to the side and rested for a little bit in the shade. And this other guy evidently was following behind me a little closer than I knew, and he passed right by me very quickly. And then he looked my way, and as soon as he acknowledged that I was there, he made a beeline right toward me. And I thought, oh my goodness, what does this man want? And he was talking at me 99.9 miles per second. Very high strung. Very, you know what? He couldn't even get a breath in. He was talking so fast. And I couldn't really understand what he wanted or what he was trying to say, other than he was trying to find his way to San Diego, and he just wanted to know the way to get there from here. And I'm like thinking in my head, well, you can't get there from here unless you have a ride. And he was complaining and whining and moaning and about how people weren't helping him, and he's not high, he's not drunk, he was last week, but he's not right now, and all he wants to do, he didn't want no money, he just wanted to know, he wanted help on figuring out how to get there. And I'm like, well, sir, I don't have any advice for you. And then he just kept getting a little closer and closer to me and talking to me more and more about all kinds of stuff in his life, and just going on and on and on. I thought, okay, I guess I'm here to listen to his story. I'll be a good listener for a little while, but you know what? The truth was, I just wasn't in the mood for that. You ever feel that way, where you're just not in the mood to listen to someone just go off on you, or they're not really going off on you, but they're just going off, period, and you don't want to hear it. You're just kind of exhausted and tired of it all. Well, sometimes you feel that way in the big city, and when you run across these kinds of folks, And it was very clear to me that this guy was higher than a kite, even though he said he wasn't. I know the symptoms. He was strung out on drugs. And he just kept inching closer and closer to me, and I thought, oh boy, if I don't get out of here real quick, he might just try to cause me some trouble. So I don't know how long I listened to him just babble on and on and on. I finally pulled out my sunglasses, put them on, and I just looked at him and I said, I gotta go. And then I turned around and started walking the opposite direction I needed to go just to get away from him. And he started following me. And I thought, sheesh, I'm just going to try to ignore him. But he kept following, and then he kept right on up the sidewalk going the same direction I was until he passed me, and he was walking very, very fast, just like he was talking very, very fast. And I just slowed down, and then I just sort of stopped, and then I looked to see if he was continuing to walk past me, and then I finally turned around and walked back towards my house. And I thought, what an experience, I didn't come out here today to be, addressing all these issues or to be confronted this way. I mean, who am I? I'm just a person out on the street walking around trying to get some sunshine and fresh air. But this is what I have to deal with today. I was happy to get home. And then I made a phone call and just shared the story with someone. But that's a lot of my story time I wanted to share with y'all today. I'd love to hear if y'all have had some similar stories that you've experienced over the last week or so, or if you've had any funny stories to share about people you've seen on the streets. Because evidently, I've had plenty in the past week. Just those 2 homeless people, and then the drug guy, and then the woman who was naked. Have to laugh about it though, but I'll be honest with you, I just wasn't in the mood for it when it happened last week. And today I'm okay, and I just think, wow, you know, only in the big city does this stuff happen, but I'm sure that's not true. But that's my story time. Those things are actually happening out there in the real world, folks. So, you know, be observant and take notes, and then have a story to share with your friends, I guess, because, you know, there's people out there and they're just acting crazy, or they just don't have enough going on in their lives, or they don't have anything at all, and they're homeless, or they're strung out on drugs, and you got to feel for them at the same time, but you don't want to be inhibited by them. You know what I'm saying? It's just like wintertime snow. You can take it for a little while, and it's nice and it's beautiful, and you can go skiing or build snowmen or whatever, but after a while you just are done with winter, right? You're looking for some spring and some summer, and so that's how I feel right now, and I just wanted to share that with you. So I'm going to leave it there for this video, but if you have some stories to share kind of similar to what I just did with you, then please feel free to share them in the comment boxes down below. And don't forget to hit that notification button, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe and share the video. And I'll see you next time. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.